everybody, and welcome to another WXR. And joining me today are Marcus Shadow and the Fallen Angel, Jim Phoenix, and our guest of honor, Chriz, a.k.a. the Mole, who, that's what we are going to do today. We are going to have an interview about wrestling stuff, with interests, dislikes, and all that sort of thing, with Chriz, a.k.a. the Mole. So, anyone have any questions to kick this thing off?
I was told that'd be pie.
Alright, since you're all pussies, where did your interest in wrestling start?
Honestly, I started watching wrestling kind of when I was a kid, because I remember watching wrestling a bit, because my dad, when he was still alive, used to always watch it with us and have like the old VHS tapes, even from over here with guys like Giant Haystacks and stuff, which was awesome. So I used to watch that with him, even as like really young age. Didn't really click with me, if that makes sense, until I was like 5 years old and a certain superstar debuted, and I was like, oh. And instantly I was like, yes, and then he became my favourite, which obviously that's Undertaker, but still, it's a case of, that's how long I've been watching it. Basically, I've been watching it since I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Very nice.
Fair enough. Well, since we kicked it off that way for my interview a couple of weeks ago, why don't we go here with the topic here as well, since I went on about Jericho. Why don't you tell us about The Undertaker, Mole, and what you like about him, and why he's your favorite superstar, and good stuff like that there.
Well, I've always liked The Undertaker. I think, as far as big guys go, usually you get them like Khali and Big Show, but they're slow and crap. Well, Big Show's kind of cool now, but they're normally slow and crap. And then you got Undertaker, who walks on the top rope, jumps over the ropes, and does all this amazing stuff. Plus, you have him, the gimmick as alone made you just want to watch it as a kid. And I think another reason I kind of like The Undertaker is he constantly changes with the times, but as a result, he sort of changed with me growing up, if that makes sense. Like, I'm a kid, I'm like 5 years old, at the time I'm watching like Power Rangers and shit, and it's like, cool, okay, so I'm watching all these cartoons like Ninja Turtles, Transformers and stuff, and it's very it's almost cartoony-like then, with like the Hulk Hogan's and stuff, and you see like The Undertaker debuts. Then as I'm getting a little older, around like the Bret Hart era, and I'm wanting to watch more adult stuff, it's like, cool, he's now basically a slightly different person. And then you get like, okay, now I'm on the verge of going into high school, you get on the verge of more darker Undertaker. Then when I'm in high school, you get Ministry Taker. Right when I leave high school, at the time, I started to wear like leather jackets and bandanas. A couple of years later, he suddenly debuted as Biker Taker, which is like, fuck yeah, I can relate to that guy, yeah. Then nowadays, I'm more reflective of, like, more nostalgic about some stuff, and I'm looking back to, like, when I was younger and stuff, because I've gotten older, and booyah, he pulled out the old gimmick. It's totally fucking works. It's almost like he's the perfect wrestler for me, if that makes sense. I mean, he's not the best in ring of all time, but he's definitely got the gimmick, the abilities, the microphone skills, and everything that just makes me click with the dude.
What do you think you would say is your favorite era of wrestling, of what you've watched?
My favorite era is probably, I believe the new game called it the New Generation, where you had Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, and stuff all in one era. It's the time when the only flip side to that, the negative thing, would be the way they tried to book Lex Luger as Hulk Hogan riding around on his bus, but but I'll be honest, when I was younger like that, see how well they booked him like Yokozuna, like Big Show, everyone knocks him over, everyone almost lifts him up nowadays. Yokozuna, no one did that, and you saw Lex do it, it was kind of cool. It gave us the best WrestleMania of all time, of WrestleMania 10. It gave us just loads of cool moments. I love that era. I wish wrestling was like that era again. That was all.
Who was your favorite diva of all time, and why? Since we know who your favorite superstar is.
My favorite diva of all time, I'm probably going to have to go, if I'm thinking like right now off the top of my head, I'm honestly going to go with an unusual pick, because I normally like the ones that can wrestle and stuff, but I liked Sunny. I'm sorry, I really liked Sunny when she came in it with like the body guys, and they were like doing all the fucking Mr. Motivator style workouts and shit, and then she's literally the first diva as we know them and stuff, and I really enjoyed seeing Sunny. It's like when she came back for the anniversary, I'll be honest, I kind of marked out for Sunny. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like people like Beth and stuff too, but there's always a special place for Sunny. I'm like, I like Sunny.
Mr. Phoenix.
Trying to think of something.
You could queue up the footage for yours and just steal questions out of there.
Yeah. And
I could.
If you guys want to, you can ask like follow-up questions and shit, or discuss what I've given as my answer.
I actually did have one earlier, and I know you mentioned the whole kind of grew up with you. Which in retrospect, which do you prefer, Phenom or Biker?
Honestly, which one I prefer? I prefer Deadman Undertaker, but I think Biker Taker is what's needed before he retires, if that makes sense. So I can see merit behind both.
That makes sense. I can agree with that. Fair enough. Let's see what else we got here. All right. Well, I'll just question.
Fallen Angel.
Yeah. Fallen Angel. If you're there.
And if not, then Richter Hammer.
Okay, I thought of one.
Alright,
Go ahead.
Somebody go.
What is your thoughts on the evolution of Vince McMahon's character?
Honestly, I thought it was kind of cool when it first started, because it branched off, obviously, a real-life incident. Also, kind of surprised none of us mentioned that during Rick the Hammer's topic of real-life stuff turning into storylines of Vince McMahon, because it started with the screw job and stuff. But at first, I thought it was brilliant. He was the perfect evil boss, but about halfway through the Attitude Era, or maybe like a third of the way through, it got too fucking ridiculous with him, to the point where he became a cartoon supervillain, where it's like, yeah, I'm Vince McMahon. Look, watch as this thing levitates up to the sky during one of the Money in the Bank, well, not Money in the Bank, during a ladder match, which never got explained, and just stuff like that. And now, when he comes back, he's kind of cool now, because it's more laid back, but which means I kind of like the evolution. I just didn't like the cartoon over-the-top Vince, where it was like, oh, well, you could afford this. Well, I'm like Batman with time to plan. Here's my contingency plan.
Yeah, but that's what made him such a great villain.
And fair enough. I could see some people like it now.
El Rictor.
Okay. Do you have, like, a partner that you'd love the Undertaker to have, to like, partner with, whether or not they're, living still, or, like, is there some kind of, like, person you'd love to put him in a tag team with, whether or not he has been or hasn't?
I think he's teamed him once or twice before, but honestly, I'd go with Nash. I think Undertaker would either work well with someone like Nash, so it's like the Brothers of Destruction, or I'd love to put him with Bret Hart. So you got the guy that can wrestle, and you got the bigger guy that can still technically wrestle, but you know what I mean? It's like the power and technical stuff. I think that'd be perfect. You could even call them what the name was for the pay-per-view when they went against each other, Heart and Soul.
There you go.
I love that. I'll admit I've put them together in the WWE games before now and named them that, Heart and Soul.
That's a cool name.
Well, wouldn't it technically be Knee and Soul?
What do you mean, Knee and Soul?
Kevin Nash. Really?
Oh, yeah, you're on about that with God, yeah, the Kevin Nash. I was on about the Bret Hart one, so it'd be Hart spelt like Bret Hart.
Bret Hart.
body and soul.
If it was Nash and him together, I don't know, big sexy dead men, I don't know.
Dead sexy.
Dead sexy, there you go.
Are there any, like, promos or, similar events that really stuck out for you? Just, like, one, if you want, or two. Like, just anything that you still remember, even if it was, like, several years ago?
Events? I would have to go with the UK pay-per-views, like Insurrection and shit, because I actually got to go to a pay-per-view over here. And I've no joke, I own a shitload of foam fingers. Like, I own an Austin one, a Rock one, the Undertaker's fist with the glove and stuff. I own a load of them for Insurrection, which were cool. Although, in flip side, you always had the thing of you walk away and you'd be like, that was amazing. Oh my god, I just saw something I'm never going to see on WWE TV again. And then on Raw, they repeat it. If it was something that was good from that event, they'd repeat it slightly. Not as good, but still, like, one of them, you had, like, Bischoff in the ring with Austin and Jericho, and Austin turns around and looks at Jericho, he's like, you know what? Do you really want me to have a beer with you, Jericho? And Jericho's like, looks at the audience and goes, look, audience, if you want Jericho to drink a beer, give me a do-ah, diddy-diddy-dum, diddy-do. And the entire audience goes, do-ah, diddy-diddy-dum, diddy-do. Austin breaks down with a big fucking grin on his mouth and goes, you know what? Sorry that you've earned this, kid. And just passes it to Jericho. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of awesome. Promo-wise, though, with, like, promos going into events, my favourite promo going into a pay-per-view, I loved Nash v. Shawn Michaels. I loved the build-up to that because I thought they did it so well. They were good friends, they were better friends, and the next promo you get, they were good friends, and the next promo you get better enemies. And it's like, that's an awesome, and they put them together, and it was good friends with them teaming up, better enemies, and them destroying each other. I was like, that's so simple, it works so effectively that whenever a team breaks up, I kind of want them to do that again, but they never quite matched, in my opinion, between that. As much as that wasn't the best match of all time, or it was one of the first more hardcore-ish ones, if you will, but it was still kind of cool seeing the good friends, better enemies. It's a great tagline.
Was the Insurrection, like, the only live event you've been to?
I went to an Insurrection, and I went to a couple of Insurrections, and I think I also went to a Rebellion.
Okay.
Yeah, both of which are over here. The one I didn't go to over here, which I kind of wish I had been Capital Carnage. Which, I kind of wanted to go to that only because that event was such a clusterfuck. Because, check it out, a pay-per-view exists where you're going to have some cool matches on it. Every single pay-per-view, or every single match on that pay-per-view card, was interfered by the corporate ministry to show that the corporate ministry was dominant. And it was like, what the hell, that's such a clusterfuck. It's like, I still remember one of the ones I went to being like, the fuck did you just do? They had British Bulldog in the Attitude Era when he wasn't British Bulldog because he didn't have the British stuff on him. He's in jeans and he's so generic at that point. And because they know if he walks out there, because it's his home audience, he was going to be cheered, they had him throw a trash can into Stephanie McMahon's face so the crowd would boo him. They had him do that backstage so it hit him in the face. And when he came out, and the commentators were talking, because I watched it back at home, because I kept ordering them on pay-per-view so I could come back, watch it, and look for myself in the audience, like, where's Wally? I should have dressed like Where's Wally in hindsight, but still, I'm watching it, and the commentator's like, he's such a vile man. He comes out, and there's a crowd, woo, Bulldog, woo. I'm like, yeah, listen to this crowd hating him, and it's like, woo, we love you, Bulldog. It's like even a trash can, throwing a trash can into Stephanie McMahon's face couldn't get him booed. It's fucking beating a woman, what the fuck?
Well, to be fair, if CM Punk put Stephanie McMahon to sleep, well, okay, she's a heel, but if she was a face and he put Stephanie McMahon to sleep, he'd still be cheered in Chicago.
Yeah, and you just also touched upon the other part. This is during the McMahon-Helmsley era. This is during the McMahon-Helmsley era-ish thing, where you got Stephanie McMahon with Triple H backstage. The crowd don't like the McMahon-Helmsley people together, they're heel, and you have him throw a trash can in the face. And the worst part was, it wasn't even on purpose. It's not like he picked it up and then beat the shit out of her face. He just got angry and tossed the trash can, and you suddenly, off screen, you hear, ah, from Stephanie, and the camera looks on, she's unconscious with a bin next to her. And Triple H is like, what did you do? What did you do? She was my wife and you blew her up. And okay, no, you didn't do that far, but still.
WWE needs to make that happen now.
Yeah.
But her boob already blew up.
Yeah. I also love the difference with that as well when you think about it in hindsight of British Bulldog throws a trash can into Triple H's wife's face and he gets, what did you do? And then nothing happened really comes of it. Then Randy Orton RKO's her. Triple H runs into the ring and starts going like he's having a fucking shit, or he's having a fucking blood spasm in his brain when he's trying to look all angry and intimidating, which did not work. Triple H looks angry and intimidating when he frowns. When he starts doing that intense look, it just looks... No, stop that. But... how about Jim and Fallen Angel? Do you two have any questions? Because you two have been really quiet.
Or me, because I haven't asked one. I've asked like one question out of like 10.
You did, but you just responded then. You've been a little more vocal, if that makes sense.
No.
Is it just questions about wrestling?
It is.
Yes.
I don't
What's your favorite? What's your favorite championship? WWE championship.
Okay.
Why?
Kind of a mixed thing when you say favourite championship. I mean, WWE, because my favourite WWE championship is one from another company. I loved the World Heavyweight title at first, before that, when it was the WCW title, World Heavyweight title. I liked it when they first introduced it. I didn't like it when they put the shitty pattern on the back of the belt, cause it's like, eh. But just looking at it, that looks like what a championship should look like to me. You look at it and you're like, that dude's a champion. I really love the look of that belt and what it represents and stuff. I just love that belt.
Alright, how about favourite female wrestler of all time?
Didn't we already do that with Sunny?
Did you? Oh, well.
Although if you're going as a wrestler, I'm going to have to go with, ironically, more modern. I'm going to go with Beth. Because I like Beth Phoenix. She was sort of like China, but in the body of a woman. No, I'm gonna have to go with either Beth Phoenix or, ironically, I would probably go with China when joining her Intercontinental, like Eddie Guerrero fucking days, where, because those women, they were like, they could compete with the guys, and when they were in the ring with women, you knew they could wrestle. It wasn't like, bitch slap or fake running along the ropes or roll-ups and shit. It was like, you knew these ones could go to town and win. And I kind of liked that.
Yep.
Alright, Mo, what's your favorite wrestling video game?
WWE No Mercy, or WWF No Mercy.
Figured as much.
Followed by, possibly, just because of the what the fuck, WWE Backstage Assault.
I'm not sure I've heard of that one.
You can play as Triple H, The Rock, or The Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie McMahon gets kidnapped, and you go side-scroll beat 'em up like Dungeon, like Double Dragon, to get her back from people. Just that concept alone is like, what the fuck?
I need to play that. What system was that on?
That was on the Game Boy.
Ah, nice.
No, I think it was called Backstage. No, it might not have been Backstage Assault. It might have been something else. I think that was the WCW game, Backstage Assault, with the one where he was fighting backstage. But it was a Game Boy WWE game, and then that was the concept, which I loved it for the what the fuckness. But No Mercy is a wrestling game. I'm sorry, No Mercy's fucking awesome.
Would you like to elaborate on what made that game good as compared to the latter, more shit games?
You could customize every wrestler in the game, so you could always update every single one. It played fantastically, And it had, I believe it had a never-ending story mode. At least I never got to a story. It's like, at least I never got to an end, and I played the shit out of it. It's like, it always kept evolving and looping back around to other ones, which, yeah, sometimes you get the same ones. But it was almost it was almost never-ending. It was perfect. That game may be the most perfect wrestling game of WWE of all time, probably. At least that's my opinion. I don't know if anyone would agree with that or not, but I love that game. How about you, Ricky? Because I know you like that game, I think.
That game is fucking awesome.
And like I mentioned in the past, did you do the same thing I did when you first got that game? When you found out you could edit people, which I already knew because I'd played the WCW vs NWO once, which was built upon basically because it was the same company. I found out you can customize people, you could do stuff, so I removed Kane's mask to see what he looked like. Because I was curious, like, let's see what this dude looks like. And it's a pitch black face, like, no, not for you. And I'm like, it's either horribly burnt in the face, because it's now crispy like a burnt pancake. Well, it's just fucking, nope, not for you. Which I like that. That was one of the first things I tried to do with her.
I think I just went through and made alternate attires for people I didn't like. That's what I remember doing.
See, I remember doing what I do sort of now, although I've stopped doing it as much nowadays. I mean, I kind of did it for Cena, who I don't like, but that was because he was, and I also did it for Daniel Bryan, who ironically I don't like now, but it was a case of, I used to go through like every month or two and go through and like, okay, this guy's got a new outfit, boom, and I'd customize the outfits to try and make him a little bit updated. So you could constantly update the game. And if they brought out a sequel to it, which I'm not sure, I think that was a sequel to WrestleMania 2000, I can't remember.
I believe so, yeah.
But if they brought out a sequel to that game, even though you could customize every part of it, I'd still fucking buy it. I'd still buy the sequel for the improvements and stuff.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Is there a game you wish they'd bring out?
A game I wish they'd bring out?
Yep.
5-Star Wrestling.
That would be WWE. Oh, what the hell was the name of it? That game they did recently. Oh, it looked like WWE Brawl or whatever it was called. I think it was Brawl.
Oh, what was it?
Where it looked like Smash Brothers with WWE people, where like Undertaker was like this fucking over-the-top demonic version of himself with powers and stuff. And it looked like that looks like a cross between the Smash Brother games and the Budokai Tenkaichi style stuff and all that together, and I'm like, that kind of works. I kind of want to play a regular wrestling game like that. It looks like it was based on the WWE Rumblers or WWE Kids magazines, but I'd still buy it. I'd still want to play it. That looks fucking awesome. Or the other option would be WWE All Stars 2.
That could be cool.
Yeah, All Stars was awesome. They need to go back to that. It was sort of like a more Street Fighter-ish WWE game mixed with wrestling elements and so over the top and awesome that it's played. WWE All Stars played pretty well. It's played better than the SmackDowns we Raws have in the last couple of years because there was a lot less glitches in that game. So either WWE Brawl or whatever it was called, bring that one out, or bring out which was meant to have a cartoon based upon it at one point, but yeah, also bring out the All Stars 2. I'd buy both of those. Or WrestleFest for the PS3 like they were supposed to.
What's your opinion on WWE films?
It's shit. It's really shit. It's like, WWE is a great wrestling company. I'm going to go for them for wrestling. It's like Kellogg's is a great cereal. If they brought out a Kellogg's car, I'd be like, what the fuck are you smoking? Just the same thing as like Porsche make great cars. I would not buy a Porsche video. I would not buy like a Porsche fucking drink or something like that. Or, no, because what the fuck? I don't think they should have gone film-wise, and I think the films have sucked. I will buy the Scooby-Doo one, although that's more Warner Brothers and them mixed together. Which, if they go that route, where they go the route of getting actual companies to help support them and just include some wrestlers and do better stuff, cool. But ones like The Marine and fucking the almost marine film that Austin was in, and fucking The Chaperone and stuff. No, the WWE films, not that good.
Chaperone was hilarious. And just Triple H sucked.
But on his documentary, of Thy Kingdom Come, he claims he's as good an actor as, like, The Rock and stuff.
I don't think he's seen The Rock act then.
I don't think he has either, or he's only seen Doom.
To be fair, The Rock was good in Doom. Doom just wasn't that good of a movie. It was decent, but it wasn't that good of a movie.
See, I didn't like any part of that movie. I thought the acting was off. I felt everything on that film was off, but it's cool for people who feel differently. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, that's the worst film The Rock's done.
Probably, yeah.
And I've seen Tooth Fairy, which is kind of bad, but it's kind of fun too. I mean, it has Steve Merchant.
What about Race to Witch Mountain?
And that film was okay. It was better than Doom, but it was okay.
Jim's done.
Is Jim still there?
I'm here. Let's see.
Luckily, we can edit things.
All right. What is your favorite wrestling theme song of all time?
I will go with two. One, as a wrestling theme, I loved the NWO theme music because it was so like, whoa. Because the second you heard it, you knew shit was going to happen and stuff, and it suited almost every occasion based on the group. A runner-up for that would have been the Austin theme song for the same reason of Smash, but that one didn't suit when he came out for normal promos, if that makes sense. Whereas the NWO one, it was like they were hijacking the show whenever they came out with their music and stuff, so I was like, oh, cool. The second one I'd have to go with for a theme song would be Hendrix's Purple Haze for Hulk Hogan. Because, enough said, it's that song, enough said.
I don't know.
But the second one I've gone with as a song, not as a wrestling song, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
Who's your favorite mic man in the industry?
And on the microphone?
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to have to go with either The Rock or Jericho. Probably Jericho more. Yeah, I'll give Jericho more of an edge, because as much as I like The Rock, he recycles stuff too much, or a lot of it just happens to be food-related puns, which... Okay. Jericho, I'm going to have to go with Jericho. Jericho's fucking awesome on the mic. If he gets a microphone and speaks, you're like, that's awesome. I'll go Chris Jericho, Jim's favourite. Woo!
Okay,
Woo.
follow up. What's your favorite tagline?
For what?
Well, or like catchphrase, I guess I should say.
My favourite catchphrase in WWE? I'm gonna have to go with the NWO of once you're NWO for life, followed by too sweet. Just because both of those two, that's fucking awesome. Once you're NWO for life. I love how hypocritical that sounds though, because they'll get a member and they'll say, once you're NWO for life, and they'll kick them the fuck out. Which, yeah. I love the fact it's not like you're NWO for life. It's like the gang mentality. If you're a gang member for life, and then the second you cross the gang, you're not a gang member for life, you're fucking marked, basically. Which it works, because they were like a gang, so I kind of like those two catchphrases.
Do you have a favorite match type?
A favorite match type? I'm going to go with Depending on who's in it, unfortunately, I'm going to... because there's been a load of bad ones with this, I'm going to have to go with Iron Man match. Because, like, when you have two people like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Iron Man match, unbelievable. Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle would be able to pull off. Like, imagine Daniel Bryan, as much as I don't like him, I know he's great in the ring, I just don't like how he's booked right now. Imagine Daniel Bryan v CM Punk for 1 hour. Sure to take my money at that point. It's like, even the Triple H Rock one, as much as I'm not a fan of Triple H in general, I know he was great, he was a good wrestler at least, and The Rock's good in the ring too. Those two went for an hour and made it interesting with HBK as referee and Undertaker came back and stuff. That match was interesting, so I'm going to have to go Iron Man if you got the right people.
Okay.
And if you got to have the right length set to the match.
Kind of, but when I say Iron Man, I was mainly on about the 1 hour.
Ah, okay.
The 30-minute ones have been cool, but I always preferred the hour ones. They were cool as fuck.
I'd love to see an Iron Man match between Cesaro and Sami Zayn.
Yep. It's like something else I would kind of like to see with an Iron Man match. I'd like to see an Iron Man tag team match.
That'd be awesome.
Or multiple tag teams with Falls Count Anywhere on an Iron Man. That would be awesome.
Yeah. For the title.
You imagine how many reps you'd need for that if you kept adding teams?
1.2. I just did the calculations. No. I don't know how you could get 0.2 with a ref, but still, it's there.
like 3 hornswoggles or something?
Yes, a hornswoggle-sized ref. Make the Minotaur special referee.
There you go. Ole!
Yeah, well, the Los Matadores were a bit of a flop.
I liked the little Minotaur, though. He was awesome. To be fair, the tag team could wrestle, but yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Do you have a favorite finishing move?
The Diamond Cutter.
Nice.
And I say Diamond Cutter, not RKO. The RKO is pretty cool, and it'd probably be second-ish, but it wasn't the same as seeing DDP pull out a Diamond Cutter out of his ass every week. It was fun.
Yep. That's why it saddens me.
I'm sure I know the answer to this, but since we did favorite wrestler, what's your least favorite wrestler? Or who is your least favorite wrestler?
I'm going to have to go for 2 for very different reasons. I'm going to have to go with Hulk Hogan, just because of the WrestleMania 9 thing. And for all the backstage bullshit with him and various other stuff he's done. Plus, he was never that good in the ring.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Hulk Hogan. The second one, I'm going to go with Goldberg, because fuck what he did to Bret.
Okay.
He was an idiot. Goldberg was an idiot, and fuck what he did to Bret. Plus, yeah, it's pretty sad when his matches last less than his entrance. I mean, even Undertaker's matches go longer in his entrance, and he slowly walks into the ring.
Yeah, but his matches last that long because he's so old it takes him that long to do his moves.
I don't know. Only a couple of years ago, WrestleMania 25, Shawn Michaels Undertaker, best WrestleMania match of all time.
Yeah, it was a great match.
But still, like I said, even during the day when he had Paul Bear and shit, he comes out all slow and stuff. Goldberg, intense, he does it, comes down to the ring a lot faster than like Undertaker and stuff like that. And his matchup is over in like 3 fucking seconds or so. Fuck that dude. I think the only reason he got popular, and I think a lot of people probably agree with this, is he had a bald head and a goatee around the time a certain wrestler in WWE happened to be famous. I can't imagine which one that would be. And he also had the same trunks and no. He was pushed because he looked like Austin, and he ended Bret Hart's career and was an idiot. So yeah, fuck him.
He had the 3 moves of doom, one of which was a pin.
Yeah. And I will say he was involved in one of my favourite segments of all time.
Uh-huh.
Which also led into the reason I hate him. I loved this. When he was feuding with Bret, I loved the fact that Bret basically baited him in the middle of the ring and was like, come on, and he's all in the ring. Goldberg goes, and does his spear, and then just lays unconscious. And you're like, what the hell? And Bret takes off his hockey shirt and has a steel plate around his fucking waist, knowing he was going to spear him. I'm like, that's fucking genius. That's the best reversal for a spear ever. A fucking body armor. I think I linked you to that, didn't I, Rick? Oh, a while back.
Yes, you did. Is there any wrestler that you'd like to see return to WWE television?
This one may surprise you. I'm going to go with Scott Hall, but not as a wrestler. Because Scott Hall has mentioned in wrestling radio shows and stuff, he would love to come back to WWE as a colour commentary. And I'm like, that would be brilliant. I'd love to see Scott Hall back as colour commentary. I'd love that. But anyone else? I will apologise to the people listening with all these big silences.
Yeah, it's not like we came up with these questions beforehand. We're just kind of doing it off the cuff.
Yep, but we did the same thing with Jim, but the benefit with Jim's was you had me there to constantly do follow-up, like, comments and stuff to him.
Pretty much.
Which I realised we needed that.
Yeah, but this time we have Fallen Angel and Richter. I thought that would have made up for not having you.
We had Richter last time, didn't we? With Tiff and possibly...
No, Richter was not in my interview. Last time my interview was the two of you, Fallen Angel, and Queen of Hearts.
Okay, so we have Richter this time.
I will say Richter is doing a good job, though, because he's asking me those questions.
Yes.
Which means bravo, Richter.
Thank you.
Let's throw this out there, Mo. What's your favorite wrestling DVD set?
My favourite DVD set? Or, do you mean as
in what DVD item? It might have been like, well, I guess what's your favorite DVD? Because some of them come in sets of multiple discs or sets of multiple DVDs or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just double checking you didn't mean like a collection of matches or if you meant like a superstar thing, which would fair enough.
Any DVD that they've released. What is your favorite DVD that they've released?
Which may annoy you because it's not technically a DVD. I'm gonna go with the NWO Revolution Blu-ray.
Close enough.
Because the DVD's kind of cool, but the main feature on that, the documentary, is sort of...
Jim, stop moving.
There we go. The documentary part of it is sort of watered down, and they skip over important facts and stuff like that, and it's like, okay, it's kind of interesting, but you already know that crap if you had, like, the NWO. It's like, it's nothing special. The bonus on the Blu-ray is a Roundtable Legends discussion with Jim Ross, Michael Hayes, Kevin Nash, and I think they had a couple of other people, which you were getting to. They were actually discussing the NWO as a group and why they functioned, what went wrong with some stuff that didn't quite pan out and stuff. And you got honest opinions from Nash. You got honest opinions from the other ones talk about why they thought it worked or wouldn't have worked or why they thought it was bad, and they insert clips and stuff, which means buying the Blu-ray, the extra feature, which is about the length of the normal feature, is actually the best part. It's fucking awesome. I love that Legend Table discussion. I keep rewatching it now and again. sorry. Based on the silence, I'll assume everyone thought I was going to say the self-destruction of Ultimate Warrior.
Have you even seen that one?
I have not seen that one. Actually, yeah, I have seen that one. A friend of mine has that, and I watched it at his house. It's like, as weird as this is, I own the Bret Hart collection on DVD, but this is the one that's weird. I own it on UMD too for when I had my PSP, so I could watch it on the go. Because I was like, yeah, I'm always gonna watch that shit on the go. And then I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna have to leave my PSP at home, and I never watched it on the go, except for once when I was in an airport. And I was like, okay, I need something to do, so I'll watch it on the plane and stuff. It was kind of funny. But yeah, they dropped the ball on UMDs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Considering only one machine in the world can read it, yeah.
Yep. And then they even bring out an improved, quote, version of the PSP Go, but doesn't even read them.
Yep. At that point, they basically admitted, yeah, we fucked up, it's dead.
Yeah, what they should have done is, because ironically that one didn't sell as well as the normal PSP, because people were like, we want to buy the physical copy, we don't want to be forced to download them because they don't have every game. They should have put a I don't know if they have or not, Rick would be able to answer that, but they should have put a UMD port drive on the Vita.
That'd be cool. It'd make the battery power somehow worse. But it would be really cool.
They should do that, and they should add solar panels to compensate.
They need little things that hook up to your temples, so if, like, your gamer rage can somehow charge the battery.
Yes. If you put it on someone, it just explodes. Hi, Marcus. It's more dickish to do that when he's actually in the conversation. I make jokes like that about everyone.
Yes, it is. Here's one. Who on NXT do you see as being the next breakout star, like basically the next face of the company, if you will?
Honestly, from NXT, this may shock or not, I'm going to go with Paige. Because I think a lot of the other superstars in NXT, they're good, but they lack the muscle that WWE seems to love, and the ones that do have them are pretty crap, so I can't really see too much potential in them to go far in the WWE World Division. Although Bo Dallas is kind of cool. Although, with Paige, there's such an opening right now for that diva. The second she comes in, like me and the Fallen Angel were discussing, and the other one kind of a little off topic, but her going against like Summer Rae or Emma and stuff, or Natalya or Tamina, would actually help that division so much that there's actually an opening and a need for her. I also think the Ascension can make a splash, or I believe they've actually debuted in WWE now. But I also wanted to see the Ascension because I think they could do well as a tag team, because I think we need a decent tag team that comes in as a tag team, not just put together at the last fucking second.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, the Ascension debuted at a live event in Madison Square Garden yesterday. Apparently it was a bit of a dud, though. The crowd didn't really react to them all too much. And apparently they had Vicky Guerrero as their manager.
Yeah, of course the crowd wouldn't have reacted to them well. One, like you said, they had Vicky Guerrero, and two, the crowd don't know who they are. Whereas if they debuted on Raw and you see them make a splash, like, if you saw the Wyatts just as the Wyatts with no entrance music, no gimmick, and no big event where they can voice themselves and do stuff well, you're not going to showcase them well. But debuting them how they did with like the jujum and the sheet mask and stuff, it works perfectly. It means when they come on WWE TV and they have the benefit of the production to get behind their gimmick, I think that could be cool. Because I assume they're still doing it. I haven't seen them do it. I haven't seen them for a little bit because I've been a little out of touch with NXT in the last month or two because I've been too busy whenever it comes on. And I could record it, but I've been like, But it's a case of, in their hand, They used to do this light, and when they were on the turnbuckle, they used to go shine it into their face and stuff. It was so creepy, awesome. That's kind of cool. I like the Ascension, and I like Paige. So I hope those two become breakouts in their respective divisions.
And just so everyone's aware, because I don't think many of you guys are, Emma is actually Australian.
Yes, she is.
Which means we all want to see what she's like. Down under.
You know what I mean.
That dingo can eat my baby any day. That's such not a pickup line.
No, it's not.
Not really.
Worst innuendo ever, but no. Any other questions? Guys, girls, Jim?
Is there anyone that either like debuted or that was supposed to be, on like Raw or SmackDown or whatever that you wish had like gotten more of a push than they did, or that had actually debuted, like maybe they got rid of them beforehand or not?
Actually, yes, there's two.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, they got rid of them for the same reason. Because they were basically designed as Undertaker fuel, basically, or Undertaker people. One would be Mordecai. And again, with Mordecai, when he came back as Kevin Thorne, that dude just can't catch a break. The second one would be, I don't know this guy's name. There was a guy who interrupted SmackDown. And it was like, static. And then he cuts outside, he's like got an English accent and shit. He's like leaning against a tree or like stalker-like. He's like, I have spent my entire life in the shadows. I have studied it, mastered it, learned from it, and I know there is a darkness in WWE, and it has taken a form, and I am here to show you what real darkness is. And it's like, he was so fucking awesome. And they just dropped him within like a fucking week. His promo debuted, and then they were like, sorry, this character seems too like he only has the purpose to go against Undertaker. Sorry, you're gone. And they never mentioned him again, which means it almost looks like the network fucked up and inserted a show into the middle of the fucking TV with that dude. But he was a real wrestler. I just can't remember his fucking name. But I wanted to see what he could do, because on the mic, doing that promo, and not just because it was against Undertaker, doing that promo, the way he carried himself, the way he addressed the microphone and stuff, he got behind his character, and you felt like, I want to see what the hell this guy can do. Not just against Undertaker. I want to see what this guy can do against everyone, because this guy has a cool gimmick. I want to see what the hell goes on with this if he studied it. And I felt like it was going to be almost a passing of the torch, kind of like he was going to come in and then be the next Undertaker or something. But at the same time, it's so dickish to drop him after he's come on TV the next week and never address it again. So yeah, Mordecai / Kevin Thorne both times, and also dude I can't remember who interrupted SmackDown.
Alright, follow up to that one. Is there a superstar, not diva, just a superstar on the current roster that you feel has pretty much zero potential and you wish would go away and never come back?
Yep, I'd be Ryback. Did anyone else think it was going to be different? Ryback, and I also don't like Biggie Langston. Those two, I'm like, the only potential they have is to be the generic big guys. Fuck it, they're a dime a dozen.
That is with Biggie only, because the thing about Biggie Langston is, number one, he can move. He's a big guy, but he can move, number one. And number two, the fact is, he's actually really good on the mic if they would let him be funny on the mic. Because when he has a chance, he has a great personality. He's really funny and really fluent on the mic. They just never let him talk.
See, I'm not a fan of his microphone skills. When he wrestles, I'm like, it's nothing too special, if that makes sense. But I could see other people would enjoy that. Everyone's different. There's probably people out there that like Ryback.
Yeah,
I'm just like, no.
Yeah, he's basically Ryback, except he's black and he doesn't try to kill people.
Yeah.
Yep.
So is Biggie worse than Big Zeke?
Yeah. Although, if you want a black guy that does try and kill people, watch New Jack.
Oh. Yeah.
And no, Big Zeke is worse.
Big Zeke is worse, and I'm kind of worried Titus O'Neil's going to turn into Big Zeke when I've seen him recently. But Titus O'Neil at least has personality to him, and I kind of like what they've done with Titus.
Yeah, and Titus O'Neil is not a muscle-bound moron. He's muscly, but he's not. He's not huge.
Exactly.
And he's good on the mic. But
yeah. I was just worried they were going to turn him into a generic slam type guy.
Yeah, I'm just afraid that with the heel gimmick, that basically they're going to kill his personality and not let the personality come through because it's going to be two-face.
Well, that was the reason why initially they wouldn't let Biggie Langston talk, because he was allied with heel Ziggler and heel AJ at the time, and he was promo was two-face and it wanted to work. But because he's a funny dude. I mean, there's that one pay-per-view where he started doing a fake Howard Cosell announcer voice, and some of the other promos where he's done funny things that were like backstage vignettes and things. It's been really funny. They just never let him really go out and do that.
Fair enough.
But yeah, on the current roster, those two would be the only two I'd get rid of. I mean, at least like that. There's others I'd book differently, but they definitely have potential. You know what I mean? So it works differently. And even guys that don't really have much potential or anything, like, say, Great Khali, and I don't mean this in a racist way, it's just from what everyone keeps saying and stuff, he's India's Hulk Hogan, which means there's a market there, and at least he gets an audience, so he has some merit, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I don't think many people are saying, you know what we need? What's that? We need another Goldberg. The crowds are crying out, we want another Goldberg.
Yeah. Of course they don't want another Goldberg. They already have John Cena, and they're getting sick of him.
To be fair, Cena wasn't even a Goldberg.
That's what I'm saying. If the crowd doesn't like Cena, why the hell would they want another Goldberg?
No, but John Cena was, we want another Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, John Cena was another Hulk Hogan, not another Goldberg. And this may surprise the people listening. I will at least say one of the reasons I don't like how Cena's booked. Yes, same thing with Bryan. But I will give Cena a little props in the department of he's better than people are giving him credit for. It's mainly the booking that's wrong with him, and I think he may be one of the only WWE superstars to have been in a 5-star match in the last 5 or 10 years. And that was his match with CM Punk, which you could argue Punk carried him. But I'm sorry, Punk's been in matches with other people, and they weren't counted as 5-star matches, and they could wrestle better, so you have to give props when props are due, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think as long as they keep the title off Cena, he's going to get better, because since they took the title off him, wrestling fights, he's actually been getting slightly better in the ring, which is surprising.
He's always, in my opinion, or at least in recent years, he's been better in the ring. It's just how they book him means he can't show off what he can do in the ring, if that makes sense.
Right.
It's like I mentioned with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is awesome in the ring, but recently how they're booking him, he's even started going into the 5 moves of doom fucking variety.
Mm-hmm.
Which, no, that's not good booking. I don't like 5 moves of doom.
Unfortunately, that's their formula for face of the company.
Yep, which I didn't like it with Cena, I didn't like it with Hulk Hogan, and I don't like it with I don't like it with Daniel Bryan. But hopefully they learn. Because like I said in the past, Bryan should be another Bret Hart, not another Hulk Hogan.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I always felt they should have booked him like Chris Benoit. And not just because he looks like
What, and erased him from history?
Oh.
Isn't that a little harsh? But no, I think the reason I say another Bret Hart is not another Benoit is Benoit was built very unique for Benoit. In that Benoit, let's call a spade here, he kind of sucked on the microphone. He really fucking sucked.
Yeah,
now, I don't like Bryan on the microphone, but he's better than that. Which means he could be like another Bret Hart type, not another guy that was all technical that couldn't wrestle, could wrestle, I should say, like Benoit or Lance Storm.
True.
And I don't know why I'm thinking this, but in my head, now I'm thinking I kind of want to go back to the question when you asked who would I like to see return. And as well as Scott Hall on commentary, I don't know why, I want to see Shane Douglas. The franchise.
The franchise, Shane Douglas.
Yeah, why is that in my mind right now?
Sugar Shane Douglas.
No, I forgot about that guy.
You forgot about him, that's great.
Well, I remember him when he had, like, the longer hair.
Yeah. I remember him with long hair and stuff. I remember him being the franchise, and he was, like, the next big thing in... I think he's been the next big thing in WCW, and I think he also kind of was in ECW, too, which...
Yeah.
That's kind of... he's just sort of faded. I don't know where he is. I'll have to check TNA's roster page soon.
Actually, he was in TNA through 2009. Now he's back on the indie circuit and in Extreme Rising.
Is that a radio play based off of ECW?
It should be, but no. Let's see. Extreme Rising. The second event.
I was thinking it was the first episode of a wrestling show where they're like Decepticons rising, Rise of the Ninja Turtles, like what the kids shows do nowadays.
Apparently, Extreme Rising was on June 29th of, I guess it was 2012. It was the sequel to Extreme Reunion, which was an event with a bunch of ECW originals. It was held at the National Guard Armory in Philadelphia.
Oh, cool. Now,
the event, plagued by no-shows, technical difficulties, and problems with talent, was...
Okay, there's him done. Any other questions?
Wow.
The hell was that?
You got diamond set.
Alright, I said, any other follow-up questions?
No, I think we've pretty much run out.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Okay, fair enough. We shall talk to everyone later. Lead us out, Richter.
So, if there are no more questions, that was a good interview we had with Mole here. I learned a lot about him as a wrestling fan. And I thank you, everyone, for listening, and everyone that joined us for questions and answers here with another awesome WXR. See you next week.